Okay, so the review worksheet. The first three are asking you to just translate or transform the one picture onto the next, and if you can transform it, is it congruent or the same shape, same size? Well, this one to here, is it the same shape, same size? Yes. Congruent. And I don't even care if you do. It's congruent. Yep. And then, and what types of transformations? Well, it's just a transformation. It's just translation because it's just sliding over, right? To the right, huh? Number 2 is asking. Does that help? Yeah. Number 2, if you were to rotate this one is shorter than this one. So no, they are not congruent. Not bacon symbol. Congruent. Okay? Bacon. Okay, the next one. What's the transformation to get this one on top of this one? Okay, what's that called? Reflection. So this is reflection. Yeah, I'm making a video right now.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Hello.
It's okay. Okay, number 4, there's going to be one just like this on the test. You have to go and look at, well, the sides, like KM, so side length KM, and I think I'm going to use a pen to do this. Side length KM is congruent to, and so KM and QL. So QL also has one tick mark. So congruent to QL. Then I can go to the 2 tick mark one. So MR, even though this looks like an R and that's supposed to be a K. So MR is congruent to the other one that has 2. So LP. Yep. This means line segment. So this is the side or line segment. And then well, I start with the M or the 2 arcs, so I want to start with the L, which has two arcs. Yeah, right here? Yeah. I did, yeah. Yep, when you're telling the sides, you want to, yeah. Jarek, sit up. And then our last one is our 3s. And I'm going to go from K to R. And that's congruent to Q to P. It not necessarily on this, but it's just good to do it because then you'll be consistent throughout. So yeah, if you start with the 1 arc and go to the 3 arc, you want to start with the 1 arc here and go to the 3 arc here.
Like for the K and I,
and that, no. Okay, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to write angle K is congruent to angle Q.
Wait, what did you say?
I'm going to do the angles now. Angle K and Q both have 1 arc. Angle M and angle L. And then angle R and angle P. The one thing that's not on here, it doesn't ask you for it, you also are going to have to name. Using the name, tell the congruency of the 2. And what you're going to do is, Nick, get off your iPad. Triangle, and you're going to name it. So this order does matter. Does matter. You're going to start with, it doesn't matter which one you start with, but whatever one you start with here. So if you start with the 1 arc one, so if I start with K and go to M and then go to R, so I'm going from 1 arc to 2 arc to 3 arc. then I have to say it's congruent to 1 arc, 2 arcs, 3 arcs. So I started with the 1 arc on both of them. And then I'm going from to the 2 arcs. These are the arcs, and then 3 arcs. I could say I wanted to start with the 2 arcs. So this was the 2. So say I said M, R, and then K is congruent to, then I would have to go to the L, and L would have to be first. L, and then the 3, right? 2. In a sense. Oh, whoops. R, whoopsie, P, Q. And sometimes they're in alphabetical order, but sometimes they're not. It doesn't matter. It's not alphabetical order. It's if this one has 1 arc and this one has 1 arc, then they go first, and I write them first. They both have to be written first. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on that one, but I do want to talk about the transformations of how I'm getting this one to become this one. One big thing is KMR is this one. So what are you doing to this one to make it this one? It will change depending on if you start with this one and then make it this one, right? So this one, you're rotating it, right? How many degrees is that? One more. 180. You're going to rotate it 180 degrees. Now, if I were to actually, like, about the origin, if I rotate it around the origin, I'm guessing this point would actually be like here. And so I could also state that I would translate it to the right and up. Just means I'm going to slide it to the right and up so that I can, so it's going to be right on top of each other. Because when I rotate it, it's not going to rotate like a piece of paper like this is not going to just rotate like this. Or let me make a triangle real quick. If I have a triangle here, I'm not going to just rotate it like on the center here. The rotation usually happens around a vertex like the origin. So if I have the origin, it's going to go about the origin all the way over to here. Make sense? This next one, this one actually names triangle LMN and XYZ, and it doesn't give you any tick marks or arcs, and you actually have to put them in. So I like to always start with the angles, because those are the easiest for me. So L is first, X is first, L, and X. So those could be one arcs. Then I'm going to go look for M, or the second one, which is M and Y, M and Y. And I'm going to be wanting to write all these down. So when I find them, I would write, angle L is congruent to angle X. Angle. Yep. And then N and Z. Oh, that looks angle Z. And my last color, green. And here again, I can use arcs if I want, or I can use highlighters if I want. Well, for my own, if you're officially, you're going to want to use arcs. It's just easier. And if I go, say, from a blue to a green, so that's Y to Z, so side length Y to Z is congruent to, so I went blue to green, so blue to green, M to N. Yep. And then the other thing that is on the test that this one is pretty simple. Well, not simple necessarily, but this one is being rotated. So around the origin, 180 degrees. So that this becomes this one and this becomes this one. Okay, so if I were to rotate it 180 degrees, you're going to actually tomorrow have a rotation or there's going to be more than one. So say X was here instead of there. What would have to still happen to this one? You would still have to move it to the right. 1. So it would be a rotation of 180 degrees plus the translation to the right 1. Okay, so there's going to be more than one transformation.